What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the show. Today, I have Joe, Chris, and myself here to do a 12-team redraft 2024 mock draft, the very first of many to come. But today, we're going to get it started sometime. No better time than the present. So stay tuned. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Heroes of Fantasy Football Podcast.
And welcome into another episode of the Heroes of Fantasy Football Podcast. We got Joe Capozzi, Chris Felice, and I am your host for this evening, Matt High. Gentlemen, it's never too early to do a mock draft. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. The first one we're doing for 2024 redraft leagues. How are we feeling tonight? Nervous, excited?
I'd like to pose a question. Joe, why are you laughing? Explain.
Your wave got me. Your wave got me.
I'm not nervous. I'm ecstatic. I love redraft. I'm a redraft fiend, and I can't wait to do this.
It's fun. This is the first one I've done too. Like, I haven't really looked too much into it. You know, I'm working on my rankings currently, so it'll be kind of fun to see where guys are going. So I'm very, very excited and also a little bit scared for what strategies we're going to be doing. We're doing this on Sleeper, which is my preferred platform to play on. And we did a randomized draft position. And unfortunately, Chris and myself are back to back. So get out the long guns, because we're gonna.
This guy thinks it's gonna matter, as if I want any of your players. Like they all suck.
I'm the opposite. I think my goal going into this draft is to try to take whoever Matt really wants.
Siphon your mind, look into the camera, gaze into your soul.
I really, really want George Pickens. So
there it is.
Yeah. But we're going to get this thing started. It's going to be a 12-team full PPR league. And Joe is drafting from the 4 slot, Chris from the 6, and I am drafting from lucky number 7. So let's get this thing started. I will start the draft. Are you guys ready?
I'm good to go.
Let's do it. Okay. Draft has started.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Alrighty.
It's pretty surprising, not going to lie. This is already kind of crazy.
Jamar Chase goes 101. Christian McCaffrey 102. Tyreek Hill 103. Joe, you were on the clock at the 4 slot.
So I think with it being full point PPR, I kind of lean wide receiver over running back. And the top 3 available here are CD, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Justin scares me because I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like in Minnesota. So I'm going to just play it safe and take old Mr. CD.
It's a good pick. I was hoping somebody was going to tell us.
The computer has taken Matt's pick. I can tell. Yeah, so I'm here now. I'm in the same line as Joe. So I definitely am valuing the wide receiver right now over the running back, which is who I'm going to take here. My choices are Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. As Joe said, once again, I'm not a huge fan of Justin Jefferson going into this year. I don't think he's going to be bad, but at this pick, I think I'm valuing Amon-Ra St. Brown a little more. So that's what I'm going to take here. I think that's just the play.
I was hoping you were going to go with your boy JJ, but here I am. It's
worked.
Justin Jefferson.
Lock in.
You're in here, rent free. So I think for me, I'm looking at JJ, but there's also Breece Hall right there. I like the idea of starting with Breece Hall because I think he's going to take a huge step forward this year. I keep thinking that the Jets can't be as bad as they were last year. Aaron Rodgers hopefully is healthy.
We don't know. He's overseas.
Yeah, so who knows what's going on? So I think I'm just going to take Justin Jefferson and put a little confidence on him for everyone right now, because rookie quarterback or Sam Darnold, either one, Justin Jefferson is an elite wide receiver, and I think it's going to be perfectly fine. He's going to get peppered with targets in that offense and will be a-okay.
Yeah, let me
So,
preface this. I'm not hating Justin Jefferson. I just rather CD over Justin Jefferson this year.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree. I would like Amon-Ra St.
You
Brown
will
over
still
Justin
feel
Jefferson
very
too.
happy taking Justin Jefferson in round 1.
Yes, I 100% agree with that.
Mhm.
So, following Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, Jameer Gibbs, and Puka Nakua to round out round 1. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the 201. Kyron Williams 2-2, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, Chris Olave. First question here, is Marvin Harrison at the 201 too early, you think? That's I feel like close
It,
to his ceiling for a rookie, which
I think it's a little tough to tell right now exactly. I understand that the rankings will put him there. I don't imagine that he will consistently go at that spot. There'll probably be plenty of people who doubt the rookie, and there'll probably be plenty of people who will buy in on it, taking that gamble for that. I predict that he falls more towards the middle of round 2, perhaps the end of round 2 for the most part. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, he is the number 1 guy with Kyler Murray. All it takes is for him to be at least halfway decent, and he's already going to give you a good fantasy value. Sure, in the second round, would you have someone better than just okay to decent? Sure, but uh, that's just the floor there. He could be fantastic all of a sudden, and you're reaping the rewards. So who knows? It's a very tough gamble. If you're willing to take it, it might win you the league, or it might lose you the league. It could be a fun time. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think it's so hard to take him over Devontae Adams. I understand why Adams is falling just because of his quarterback situation there. But if JJ didn't fall that far, I don't think Adams should fall that far. I think I'd feel comfortable taking Adams over Harrison, but I'd rather Harrison over Olave. I think that's where I'm at.
I agree.
yeah, I think it's going to be hard. You're either way, we're going to feel stupid whether we draft him super
True.
high and he turns out to be a dud. Not maybe dud is not the right word, but turns out to not be at the level
A
or
dud
that
in
offense
comparison
doesn't
to
work
where
as
you're
well.
picking him at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or we're going to pick him at 2-1 and be like, why didn't we pick him in the middle of the first round? I feel like one of those is going to happen and we're all going to feel like, oh my God, I should have done that. That was my way of filibustering to figure out where I'm going with this.
Careful, man. You only have 23 hours left.
I know. I gotta get going. I
You might
gotta
have to
start.
pause the clock.
I
Oh
might.
God.
I don't know who I'm gonna pick. I'm pulling a Mr. Straight Line. But for here, it's Saquon Barkley. I'm looking at Drake London, Brandon Ayuk. I kind of want to go Saquon Barkley, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think his landing spot in Philly is good. I think he still has enough juice left in the tank. It's really injuries, and I think that offense is going to have to change. They're not going to be what the same way that they were last year, because if they are, Philly's going to go crazy. So I think they brought him in for a reason. They're going to use him. I don't think the tush push is going 100% away, but I do think they're going to see Jalen Hurts is not going to have that many rushing touchdowns off the tush push. Saquon Barkley can do it. That is my pick, Saquon Barkley.
Very nice. So this puts me in a really, really odd situation here. I was kind of hoping I was going to Saquon Barkley, but that didn't happen. So be it. I'm
I'm
not
in your
the
head.
most. Yeah, I'm not the most bent out of shape, but it is what it is. So now I'm left with Drake London. I got Brendan Ayuk. Some other notables on this board right now. I always consider this in like the top 5, so to speak. So I got the Drake London, Ayuk. That's my second wide receiver done with. I got Sam Laporta, who I could take who's currently being rated as the number 1 tight end overall. I have Josh Allen, who is currently on Sleeper, rated as the number 1 quarterback overall. And then I have Travis Etienne, the next running back up on the board, who I believe out of the rest of the list here is the best running back here. So this is where you got to get into the mindset of like how you want the rest of the draft to shape out. There's a lot of strategies in redraft. Everyone's favorite no RB strategy is pretty great, where you take like 3 wide receivers and whatever else, you just run through it for the rest, hoping that you pick up some random guys who will just fill the void of your running backs, and you kind of cling on to the wide receivers. I generally don't like to do that. I kind of teeter on that a little bit, but what I really, really don't like to do, and I highly recommend all of you also take this advice, unless if you get them at a good value. So, for instance, I'm not picking Laporta and I'm not picking Josh Allen because I hate picking tight ends and I hate picking quarterbacks this early in the game. I'd rather have the better position player, whether it be wide receiver or running back. Doesn't matter which. I would just prefer one of those two over the quarterback or a tight end. The reason being is really, really simple. For instance, we'll take the Josh Allen over, let's say, someone else later on. So we have like the Tuas, the Jordan Loves, the Jared Goffs of the world, right? The difference in points you're going to get per week is maybe like 5 to 7 on average. And I would just rather have a guy who might score on average, compared to another position player, 12 to 13, who's going to like be a constant. I would just rather have that. Like, sure, do you luck out every now and then and you get like, I don't know, a Patrick Mahomes year from like 2-3 years ago? Yeah, sure. Maybe, possibly. But I would just rather have the consistency of my lineup cemented in there. So we've eliminated those two. So now I got the three. I got the Drake London, Brendan Ayuk, and Travis Etienne. I'm gonna take the risk here, as much as I don't like it. I really want Travis Etienne. I really, really want him. But I am instead going to go Drake London here for fun.
Not a bad pick. Then Josh Allen went next. Where are we thinking, Joe?
I think, Ayuk's the next best wide receiver, but I'm torn. I'm speechless. I'm just thinking. I'm in my head. I agree. I don't like taking tight ends this early. It is Sam Laporta, who was so consistent, and I think I'm gonna fall. I might fall. I'm gonna follow Chris's leave and take. I think I'm gonna take ETN. There's a couple wide receivers that I'm looking at further down this list that I'd be really happy with getting, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more picks till I pick again. So I'm gonna gamble that one of them makes it back, and I'm gonna grab ETN here.
All right. First
Very
tight end
smart
off
play.
the board, Sam Laporta, Brandon Ayuk, and then second tight end, Travis Kelce to finish out the second round. Third round, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Nico Collins. Joe, you're back up.
Did you get your guy?
I did get my guy. I was between
Nice.
two. I was really hoping I'd either get Stephon Diggs or Mike Evans. I think they're both going to have great seasons. I think I'm very high on Diggs this season with Stroud over there, so I'm going to grab Diggs right there.
Nice. All right.
Yes!
I thought you were going to go Evans. All right. I guess Chris
Sorry,
is happy.
my
So Mike Evans
perfect
went-
fantasy actually occurred. So let me explain this. Another redraft puzzle piece for me is always having the consistent double-headed dragon, as one of my friends actually put it. If you can get the triple, which I'm hoping Drake London turns out to be, but that's to be seen in the future, in this future season. But my double-headed dragon, super duper simple. I look at the people here. Jalen Hurts is a non-factor right now. I don't care about him. Deebo Samuel, DJ Moore on the list, but I already got 2 wide receivers, and I know for a fact that I will probably end up, I'm looking at the list now, I will be able to get another guy to kind of fill in the void there that I can kind of slot in as my flex. So I'm not too worried about that. But what I do see is the very nice, powerful King himself on one of the best offenses in the league, and it's just too tantalizing. I gotta take him. And
Henry
I
is
feel
the
really good
selection.
about my situation.
Yeah, I figured as soon as he fell, I was like, "Yep, that's Chris's pick." So for me, this is going to be an easy pick for me. Someone that I think is going to. He frustrated fantasy managers so much last year. It was like every game he was leaving with like 3 or 4 injuries, and you just saw him dealing with some sort of ailment.
I was about to say Richardson's not this high up on the list.
No, Jalen Waddle on the Miami Dolphins. I think he is someone that I am aggressively going to target because I think he's going to fall in drafts, and I think he's going to be one of the best values
You're going
in
to take him
redraft
here
leagues.
with who's
I'm
left
gonna
on the
take
board?
That's
I'm
pretty
going to take
crazy.
Jalen Waddle.
Whoa.
There are a couple players there that I would have much rather had.
I agree.
I really like Jalen Waddle this year, but following that pick, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurts, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, Malik Neighbors. Now the fourth round is Isaiah Pacheco, Rashad White, CJ Stroud. That's I feel like really early for him. I'm super excited for CJ Stroud, but I feel like fourth round might be a little bit too rich for my blood. Joe Mixon, Devontae Smith. Now I have two wide receivers and a running back. This is about the time where I'm looking for starting to look at upside players. And one of the guys here is someone I'm really, really excited for this year.
I know exactly who
I
he's
know
take.
I know how you said, the strategy you do, Chris, but I'm taking my boy Trey McBride.
Whoa, not at all who I thought you were going to
I
take.
think the addition of Marvin Harrison Jr. is only going to make it better for him because now he's not going to have to deal with the number one target, the cornerback and coverage on the defensive side of the football. I love Trey
I
McBride.
really hope you pick like that when we do our redraft league because that was.
I will be winning the league. It's
You
fine.
took him over Patrick Mahomes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
And DK Metcalf and Cooper Kupp.
There's other players I can get later.
I'm gonna reel us in.
Will help me out.
So
Go ahead.
I now have I'm in a really interesting situation here, right? I have Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson lined up for me. If I really want that, and it's a little tantalizing because both of them. I'm in the fourth round. I got my starter guys right here, right? I don't really have to worry about too much more. This is the point in time where I would start considering it if the rest of like the lineup here that I'm looking at right now, if I feel as if, oh yeah, I can kind of risk it. Unfortunately, there's some other considerations, right? Cooper Kupp is there. He's great. He's fantastic. He's probably going to do, he'll put up good numbers this year. DK Metcalf, I'm a little lower on. Slightly. I still think he's going to do good. James Cook is a really, really interesting thought process here. I'm not like the hugest James Cook guy. Ignoring the tight ends, I don't like him. The only other person here that I'm really considering is Zay Flowers, solely because I don't think he's going to come back to me. He's the only other player here that I'm really considering. So with that, this is tough. This is really, really tough. Actually, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not really sure what to do here, guys. I'm gonna be real. I wasn't anticipating this sort of dilemma.
I think I know your pick.
So. You think you know? All right, I'm interested to see. Oh man, this is tough. I hate this.
He's staring you right in the face.
They always stare.
He's right there.
Into the long wind of death itself. Oh man. Sorry, I promise I'm not actually. It's just really tough. I'm trying to be as realistic as possible, and this is a very tough decision.
This is the time to make risky moves because it's a mock draft.
It is true. It is a mock draft.
Strategies.
You know what? You're right. It's a mock draft, and I should treat it as such. Therefore, Lamar Jackson, welcome to the team. I don't usually. I clicked on his name and I got his little profile thing. I don't usually do that, but like I said, this is when I started looking for it, and I feel as if the upside is there.
I did not see that one. I thought you were going with someone else. So, following Lamar Jackson was DK Metcalf, and Joe is now back up on the clock.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything during your speech because Zay Flowers is 100% not making it back to you because I'm taking him either now or on the reach around.
Yep. I figured.
Patrick Mahomes is there, who devastated me in redraft last year. So I still have the scars, so I don't know if I feel. I don't know if I feel
Yikes.
happy taking him there.
Every other year, he finishes like top 5.
I
Look at
know.
his history. Every other year, we're on that every other year.
God, I'm getting so many notifications on my phone.
I don't think I can. I can't. I'm between Cooper Cup and Zay Flowers right here. Tank Dell's there, but I already have Stephon Diggs.
Do you want
so I
my
don't
professional opinion?
Sure.
The answer is Zay Flowers if you don't think he's going to rotate back to you.
Cooper Cup is finally healthy, though. That's what Sleeper told me.
That is true, but, and he could have another Triple Crown year.
Yeah.
You could also get both if he
And Zay
rotates back.
Flowers. Still, the last update from Zay is that he was being investigated for domestic assault.
Whoa! What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm pretty sure he got
that's
that all went. That's all gone
done,
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was months
okay.
ago.
That is the
Yeah.
last update on Sleeper.
Oh no.
Give me a good beating, Zay. I'll take it.
Okay, there goes Zay.
All right.
Too
So following Zay
Probably.
Flowers was Patrick Mahomes, Tank Dell, and Cooper Cup to finish out round 4. James Cook starts off round 5, followed by Mark Andrews, T. Higgins. Joe's back up on the clock.
I'm very tempted. I'm between two players here. There's Kamara, who's an animal, but he is having the contract dispute right now, so he's holding out. I think they come to terms, but there's Kenneth Walker, who I like. He didn't really get any competition there during the draft. And there's Dalton Kincaid, who I'm really high on this year, but I don't know if I want to take a tight end over some of these other players. So I'm between the two running backs. If there was no contract dispute, I'd easily take Kamara here. And I'm going to pretend everything's hunky-dory and take him.
I mean, the good thing about Alvin Kamara is that Derek Carr is still the quarterback, and he cannot throw past 5 yards. So Kamara should get like 50 targets a game. So then following Kamara is Ken Walker. And Chris, where are we thinking now?
It's unfortunate that the bot took Ken Walker, but I'll deal with it. I kind of wanted to solidify that second running back guy, but I'll allow it, I guess. So now I'm in a sticky situation. I really don't like this crop of people that I'm dealing with currently. I really actually hate everything about what I'm looking at currently. I really, really don't like. It's making me regret taking the quarterback. See, we're at, but I'm gonna deal with it. So we have Keenan Allen, who is probably the wide receiver 2, Chicago. George Pickens is probably the guy I'm gonna pick here. Even though I'm not the biggest fan, I don't want to pick Kincaid. I don't want to pick Kyle Pitts. I'm not picking a tight end. This tight end's like the last guy. It's just the unfortunate situation. I feel as if they're the most useless. I'll deal with the fact that I don't have a good one, and I'll just have a better position player everywhere else. If I'm looking for running, Amari Cooper's there. According to Deshaun Watson, he's the best to do it in the game. So, whatever the hell he knows.
Yeah, it's been a while since he's been good Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. And then James Conner, Aaron Jones are there as well. This is a really big toss up. I don't really know what to do here. I'm gonna be honest. This is kind of rough. I was hoping for some other events that specifically Ken Walker or Kamara to get to me. It's unfortunate. So I think I'm gonna kind of go against everything here, knowing who's coming up on the slate for my picks, and I think I'm gonna pick tight end here because I feel like that's unfortunately the best value for the pick. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna go with Dalton Kincaid, and I'm gonna let George Pickens fall to you because I know you said you really wanted him.
I really did.
I think Dalton Kincaid's gonna have a big year.
I hope so, because I just picked him in this mock draft, and I'm going to take a picture of this after. I'm going to take a picture of this after, and I'm going to hope that this team obliterates everyone else.
We have 1 million fantasy dollars on this fantasy mock draft.
So back-to-back onesie positions for you, Chris. That was interesting. For me here, I'm not looking at Keenan Allen. I'm a little nervous about rookie quarterback, a little bit older. I know last year was really good, but at the end of the season did deal with a little bit of injury. A lot of that was probably just because they knew they were going to move on from him. But Kyle Pitts, I'm not going to draft him because I just drafted Trey McBride. George Pickens, I may be an idiot for not picking him, but I he doesn't fit the way I try to build my rosters. Amari Cooper, I don't really want to tie myself too much to the Browns, even if he is the wide receiver one there. So for me, I only have Saquon Barkley. So I want to get a little bit of depth at the position, and it kind of jumps off a cliff after this. So I kind of want to take care of it now. So I'm just going to grab James Conner and hope he gives me a good first half of the season. Hopefully, and then most likely I'll end up trying to draft a handcuff later in the draft if I can. But following that pick was Kyle Pitts, George Kittle, Amari Cooper, Aaron Jones, Anthony Richardson. I was debating him there, but I wanted to take. There's a couple other guys I like later in drafts
You
that I
could have
can.
given your spiel again that you gave with Jalen Waddle when you took Anthony Richardson. I don't know why it would have been pretty comedic. Not gonna lie.
I got other things. Don't worry. I got things up my sleeve.
Whatever you say.
So that was finishing out the 5th round. Christian Kirk starts the 6th. Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, George Pickens, and Najee Harris. That was kind of what I wanted. I was hoping to happen. My guy is here. I'm going to select him. I was between Najee Harris and the guy I'm selecting. So being that Najee didn't fall to me, David Montgomery is coming onto my team. I think he's a tremendous value. Jahmyr Gibbs should have an amazing season this year. I don't think David Montgomery is going to take too much away from him, but I also know this Dan Campbell offense likes to run the ball, and David Montgomery can run the ball really well. So it might be closer to a 50-50 timeshare, but the Lions are a good team, and I'm going to try to draft a running back who gets the goal line carries on a good team. So
my pick is also a running back. I know exactly who I'm taking. I was really hoping that you weren't going to. So DeAndre Swift can go ahead and join my team. That one's very obvious. I needed the second running back to fill that position slot, and I have a feeling he's going to get a lot of work on that team. Hopefully, I don't know how proficient he's going to be, but he'll at least get the touches.
I just want him to stay healthy. Like last year, he stayed healthy, but he was just on a team that just didn't use him like I think he could be used.
Push.
So it's
push.
There were so many times he got to like the 1 or 2 yard line. It's like, all right, well, he's gonna go sit on the bench now.
So I have my flex position filled. I have both my running backs and wide receivers. So it just leaves tight end and quarterback. I'm gonna go ahead and grab someone I'm really excited about this season, and that's Kyler Murray.
Ooh, I like it.
That's someone I was looking at. Thank you for stealing him so early. I had him queued up.
And then right back, I'm going to go with someone I'm also very excited to watch this season, and that's Brock Bowers.
Wow. Okay. I'm in a really interesting situation right now. You want to recap what just happened before I took my pick? Because I have to think about this.
So following Kyler Murray was Tony Pollard, Joe Burrow, and Rashee Rice. 7th round begins with Dak Prescott, Terry McLaurin, Ramondre Stevenson. Joe selected Brock Bowers, and then Jordan Addison was next. Chris is now on the clock, tilting hard.
Tilting is not the word I'm going to use. It's actually a good thing, hypothetically speaking. I just wasn't anticipating it. So I anticipated Xavier Worthy going off the board, and I was going to have to take Hollywood Brown. I figured taking a Kansas City wide receiver that is going to be either the 1 or 2 is going to be the best choice here. But now I have the both options. It's one of those two. I'm not sure who I'm taking here, which is the issue. I don't know if I want to trust the fasty rookie or the kind of sturdy veteran that's been around for a while. It might be the wide receiver 1 this year. I don't really know. So
between those two, or is that where you're?
Yeah, I'm between those two. I don't know.
If I had to, if you want my opinion,
I do want your opinion. Yeah, please.
If I had to pick between the two, I would take Hollywood Brown.
That's where I'm.
He's a proven wide receiver instead of an unproven rookie that from the videos hasn't looked super impressive from camp yet, and we know Hollywood can do good things.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
I asked you what you think because I imagine you're going to take the other one, and I'm leading Hollywood Brown. So if you're, I'll see you don't want it. If you don't, want to say anything, you don't have to, I guess, because yeah, you do pick right after.
I am not selecting any of those guys. So
Ooh,
you
okay.
may
So go ahead, give
continue.
your opinion. Give your opinion. What do you think?
For me, I would take the shot on Xavier Worthy.
Okay, I respect.
Hollywood Brown is now on his third NFL team. There's a reason for
Yes.
that. So that's where I know it's the Chiefs, and everyone gets a bump for the Chiefs. As soon as you go there, it's like, all right, you're immediately the guy. But we've seen the past few years, there hasn't ever since Tyreek Hill left, there hasn't really been a guy. It's been a bunch of guys. So talent wise, I would take the speedster and hope it works out. That would be
Wow,
my opinion.
differ of opinion. So it
Yeah.
falls to you,
So
Chris.
So we did not help you
here's
at
how I'm
all.
gonna.
So you're welcome.
So here's how I'm gonna roll this, right? And this is how I'm gonna go about this, right? I feel as if, and this is where the differencing in the way we have to think about this draft is very, very important. This is not dynasty. This is a redraft. You only have this team for a year, and then it goes away forever. And yeah, Xavier Worthy is probably the smarter pick in a dynasty. And in a situation where you will keep players long term, he's probably the better pick here. But in terms of this year, I think I'm going to stick with my gut here. I'm going to go with Hollywood Brown. I'm going to go with the veteran status. I'm going to go with the guy that will probably. I mean, I mentioned a split time at the very least, and if that ends up being the guy who isn't the wide receiver one, I'm still not too hard pressed because I still feel as if he's going to still do well in my flex spot. So that's who I'm going to go with.
All right, it's fine. You asked my opinion, and then you didn't take it. It's fine.
You picked Jalen Waddle
I did
over
pick Jalen Waddle. Yes.
like Moore and Pittman and Debo Samuel and Cup and like there was just a lot of people there. So
yeah. Just wait.
Yeah.
Mark this episode down. Picking Jalen Waddle at 3.7 turns out to be better than all those guys.
We should
It's
clip
fine.
this so when he's
clip it.
wide receiver 53, we can go, wow, Matt, what a great
the wide receiver 53. Outside of injury. All
right, go make your pick.
So,
make your pick.
For me, like I said, I was not selecting any of those Chiefs guys. I'm going to pick who I believe is the wide receiver one on the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going to go with Jaden Reed. I liked what I saw last year. Jordan Love and him had a connection, and I think they're going to build on that in this next season. So, okay, Jordan Love goes to the very next pick, followed by Raheem Mostert, Evan Engram, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, so back-to-back Titans. Then Xavier Worthy, Lad McConkey, Zamir White, Nick Chubb, and Austin Eckler. I'm back here up on the clock. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of looking for Jordan Love. Joe stole my pick of Kyler Murray, so now I'm kind of getting into the area where quarterbacks.
You got the next best thing, baby.
True.
Yeah.
You have the guy.
The guy.
Which guy?
The
Caleb?
guy.
Oh
right
yeah, no,
The
I don't want to take a rookie quarterback that doesn't rush as much. So
how do you know that? You haven't seen him play.
I know, I understand that, but I'm a little nervous. I think he's going to be good. I just don't think I think I can get better value elsewhere, and take a shot on a proven guy. So that's where I'm kind of leaning towards. So for me, I like targets. So I'm looking towards a wide receiver at this point. There's a guy here I'm excited for this year. I might take the gamble on him and take someone else and hope he comes back to me. He probably will not. But I do think that I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to take Deontay Johnson. I know it's what should be a poor quarterback led team right now on paper, but he demands targets, and I think he's going to be peppered with them, and it's going to keep his floor elevated. And he would be my fourth wide receiver, so I don't have to play him. He's more of a flex for the way I'm building my team. So I think there's enough floor that it helps the way I like to build, just trying to get targets, especially in a PPR league. He's a little bit more valuable than some of these other guys. So I'm going to grab Deontay Johnson. Welcome to the team.
Okay.
You remember when you tried to trade me Deontay Johnson last season?
Yes.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. And then he got hurt.
It took him a while to get hurt. He didn't get hurt.
But he
like,
wasn't
in the
doing that
beginning.
great before he got hurt.
Who was throwing him the ball? That team looked. That team was
Wow.
terrible. That team was
Okay.
terrible last year.
So I'm gonna step in here before we start a fight. It's now time for me to pick. I'm reaching to the bench right now. I'm picking up backups. I'm picking up people I might slot into flex here and there. Now, at this point in time, your next big tip, mark this one down. Your bye weeks. You have to decide how you're going to navigate those. You're just have to decide: am I just going to lose 1 or 2 weeks by default, or you're going to try and pick around it? Currently, for me, I got 2 Ravens players. I have 2 other players who are not on the same team but have bye weeks on week 12. I can navigate through this. That's completely fine. So I'm going to try and pick somebody who doesn't necessarily have the same bye week as any of the stuff I just mentioned. And I also don't have a third running back. I like to pick it in such a way that it's symmetrical, so I have a balance in the team. I find that no matter what, you're going to have to deal with injuries. Someone's going to deal with injuries, and if you just happen to pick up the good free agent anyway, that's usually the league winner. Like, these guys are your solid kind of foundation, but more than half the time you're picking someone in free agency, either a rookie or a backup who's actually going to become the league winner. It's very, very rare that someone from the draft here actually ends up being the guy that wins leagues. I mean, you look at like Puka Nacua, Rashee Rice. You look at the couple years before, Amon-Ra St. Brown was that guy as well. But people don't remember that, but he went undrafted in many, many leagues.
Kyron Williams last year.
Exactly. Like, there's so many. So for me, I'm gonna pick up a semi risky play. But I know he'll be the starter. I'm hoping that he ends up being healthy. This is usually when I start taking risks. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Brooks. It's a bit of a reach. I'm not, I understand there's a lot of risk there, but because I need the running back, I'm gonna do it.
I love that pick. He's someone where you have to be patient with. I think.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a league winner later in the draft, like later.
I have 7 weeks until my first running back bye week. So I got time. It's like time to get onto the field. That's a whole more. That's about half the season until he has to start producing for me. That's what we think about when you take rookies and stuff. You got to give them time.
Yeah, the one thing that I don't really pay attention to bye weeks as much because when you look at it, how often does your team change? One injury can basically change your team where you need to force and get a new player via trade or free agency or waiver wire or whatever. So like I don't pay attention to that as much. Like I'm not going to draft everybody from the same bye week because then that's stupid, but I don't really put it in, especially if they're later in the year, because we all see how things fluctuate in season. You might not play that person. They might be injured. So like you might not have to worry about that bye week. You might not have them at all. So that's one thing I know I differ with, I think, pretty much everyone on the podcast with, but that's the way I kind of look at bye weeks.
Yeah, I look at them. Not like when I'm immediately drafting my starters, but then like when I'm getting like my bench depth, I look a little more. So like right now, like I have a full roster, so I'll take a player I'm excited for this season. I know Matt is too. I'll take Jigba and hope Zach Moss falls back to me.
Yeah, that was who I was.
And he's gone. And he's gone.
I was hoping JSN was going to fall to me. I was debating on taking him, but I figured it was not going to happen.
Well, I need a running back. That's the next best available one. I like Trey Benson this year. I think he'll get some touches. I was between. Oh, I didn't even see Corum was there. I just picked. Could have took the starting running back on the Rams.
He's not going to be this. Oh my God, he's not going to be the starting running back on the Rams.
So I'm in
There's no way.
I'm in a really weird situation right now, where I think I have a really funny angle that I'm gonna go. I'm just checking really fast to make sure that this is the angle I actually want to go for. I think it is. I think this is absolutely what I'm gonna do. 100%. Yes, sir. All right. So I'm gonna. It sucks because I would love to take like a wide receiver here, but really the best one is someone I'm not really excited for. At least on the list here, which is Jameson Williams. I'm not a huge fan of him this year. Honestly, I'd rather take the risk on Brian Robinson, which is a hell of a reach. But something happens to Austin Eckler. I got the guy. Hell, who knows? Austin Eckler may not even be the guy. We don't even know what actually that team's gonna look like right now. So that might be perhaps a starter on my bench that I randomly got at round 9.
I was going to say, I think Brian Robinson is a starter
I hope so.
right now. So I think Austin Eckler, unfortunately, is on the back 9 of his career, where he's hitting that running back cliff and
It's literally Todd Gurley over again. Like he was fantastic, and then all of a sudden just wall
out of the league.
It's crazy. It's insane.
Yes, it is. So I'm back up on the clock here. I'm looking ahead at the teams. There's only one more that doesn't have a quarterback. But I know people do crazy things. So they might end up taking the guy I really want. So I'm just going to take him now. So I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to take Jared Goff because I think Goff is in for a pretty big season. He's not the flashiest quarterback, but especially to open the season, his schedule is going to be really good. Inside, home, in domes. He plays really well in those situations. So I'm just gonna take what the draft gave me. Yes, it's above Caleb Williams. I was also debating on Brock Purdy, but I don't know what's going on with that wide receiver room in the 49ers, so I didn't want to attach myself to that too much. So Jared Goff is joining the team. Jake Ferguson goes after me, Caleb Williams, Javonte Williams, TJ Hawkinson, Dallas Goddard. 10th round here is Tajay Spears, Brock Purdy, Dalton Schultz, Adonai Mitchell, and Romeo Dobbs. Now I'm back up on the clock, so I just want to recap what I have here. Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle, and Jaden Reed, Saquon Barkley, James Conner, David Montgomery, picked Trey McBride, and Jared Goff here. So I can kind of go wherever I really want. There's nothing I really absolutely need. So I'm just going to look at the draft board and see what value I can get at this point. It's a lot of wide receivers. There's a couple running backs. I'm not really looking at Cortland Sutton. He's not really someone I want to attach myself to. Might be a slight reach here, but I'm going to go and take the shot on someone I think has a chance to be a pretty significant piece on the Bills, and I'm going to go with Khalil Shakir. Chris, who you got?
I'm taking Cortland Sutton, without a doubt. Wide receiver 1 over there. All it takes is Bo Nix to just be slightly okay. I'm okay with that pick entirely. It's like the last piece I needed to kind of like round it up the whole team here with bye weeks and just getting guys. I'm very satisfied with that. And all it takes is one just kind of like, oh my god, we suck, and Cortland Sutton gets traded away before the deadline, and all of a sudden I'm in the clear. So, yeah, I feel really good about that.
Yeah, and I'll take the RB1 on the Rams.
I'm done.
He went in the second round.
I'm so done. That's fantastic.
I'll take a nice quarterback backup in Mr. T-Law.
There you go. I like that. All right, now I'm on the clock. Now I'm
2 picks left.
Oh god, there is only 2 picks. What do we have left here in terms of guys I care about? Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. If you want to go play that game, you can play that game. I could not care less. So I'm looking at teams right now to figure out who I want. Sorry, this is the part where I'm like, I take random gambles and like usually none of them work out, but it could be funny if they do. I'm gonna take Xavier Leggett. I'm taking him because I'm
Alright.
banking on him becoming the wide receiver number 1, or at least tandem with Deontay Johnson by the end of the year. I'm hoping for a Bryce Young resurgence. That's about it. I don't really care about Ezekiel Elliott. He doesn't matter to me.
All right. I'm between probably two guys here. I'm between Jerome Ford on the Browns because I don't think Nick Chubb is going to. I think he's going to start the season on the pup, so he's going to miss the first 6 games. Now, although Jerome Ford wasn't as great last season, he was still serviceable, and at this point in the draft, in the 11th round, he could potentially be a starting running back for the first half of the season. That's where I'm leaning, but there's also another guy that has the potential, should an injury happen ahead of him, he could go into a more workhorse role. So I'm going to take Jerome Ford now and see if the other guy comes back to me, which he probably will not. We'll see.
You can tell us because you're going to pick before.
And he did not. It was Zach Charbonnet was who I was
You
really
are
looking
crazy with Zach Charbonnet, man.
It is funny. I find it admirable.
Matt might be the president of the Zach Charbonnet fan club. Because
I was very high on him going into last year.
We know.
And
we know.
His
Pick your
tape
guy.
was
Pick your
phenomenal.
guy.
His tape was phenomenal. But he was just stuck in an offense.
Your
Now,
last
remember, it's a
pathetic pick.
it's a completely new team, a new coach now. So I think that's going to bode well for him potentially. So there's really no one here I like at this point. So they're all
There's
kind
so
of
many
like
good players
just
left.
yeah, but
I can point out a couple.
For me, I don't really like taking backup quarterbacks or backup tight ends. But I do think someone has the potential to be good, and I can kind of pair him with Jared Goff and play the matchups. So I'm going to go with Matt Stafford as my final pick. And I'll just play if Jared Goff is in a dome or at home, he's going in, and all the other weeks, Matt Stafford.
See, I don't dislike that at all because this is what I usually do, right? If you pick the guy in like the 6th or 7th round, right, and you actually picked him in the 9th round, right? You might need the guy to go in tandem because you're going to play the matchup. They have different bye weeks. You know what you're going to go for there. You're not going to have the guy going to start every single week over and over and over. I like that a lot because of where you drafted Jared Goff. I don't like some of your picks that you have, but in terms of where you drafted your first quarterback, I like picking the backup because sometimes having that tandem works really, really well. In terms of me, obviously I drafted Lamar Jackson. I'm not gonna look for a backup quarterback. I'm gonna play his bye week. With whatever is in it's week 14, who's ever in free agency that's gonna get. I'm gonna play Lamar Jackson every single week. I don't care. There's a couple guys here that I like ish. I'm not huge on, personally. So I'm gonna pick. Who did I pick before? Let's see what we got on my team here. I got a couple. Oh yeah, a lot of wide receivers here. I could have picked the RB2 on the Chargers, which is J.K. Dobbins, but I'm not going to do that. I'll leave that for Joe to pick. Seeming how Gus Edwards went a little while ago, last round actually. The RB1, of course, on that team. I think I'm going to go pick Jerry Jeudy because I don't know. I feel like I'll take the wide receiver 2 over the wide receiver 3 of Gabe Davis. I'm not a huge.
Yeah, we've been waiting for Gabe Davis to be good, and he'll be good for like a game or two, and then you're just like, what just happened? It's hot, cold, hot, cold.
Yeah, I'll take the RB1 on the Chargers.
There we go.
All right. Draft is ended.
Yo, my team's
Joe,
sick.
why don't you?
My team is sick, man.
Why don't you recap it?
All right. My quarterback is Kyler Murray with the backup of Trevor. My starting running backs are Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara. And my backups on the bench are Trey Benson, Blake Corum, and J.K. Dobbins. My starting wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs. I have Zay Flowers in the flex. And my backup wide receivers are Jackson Smith. And my tight end is Brock Bowers. So, pretty good.
All right, Chris, what about you?
So once again, I'm a little untraditional as I've said, but I don't dislike this at all. I took a lot of more risks in terms of very specific like 2 players. So I have the my wide receiver core: Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London, and Hollywood Brown. Are there Drake Brown's like Drake London is the real guy here that we're taking the risk on. I'm hoping that he finds footing with the Falcons now that Kirk Cousins is there. If he doesn't, I think I just lose. I'm just going to be honest. Everything kind of teeters on that. The running back core is very solid. I got Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, and Jonathan Brooks, and as well Brian Robinson. That I'm not too worried about. That's just it's solid. It's good. It's not the best thing in the universe, but it is definitely top tier. So I'm happy about that. My quarterback is Lamar Jackson. I don't really need a backup. If he gets injured, right, that's just like I can't do anything about that, right? That's just something I have to deal with week by week, and I'm gonna hope that there's like some sort of free agency situation I can manage where I can get some guy every single week and until he gets back on the field, hopefully. Tight end is Dalton Kincaid. I also don't have a backup. I'll usually play tight ends by week. So in this case, I'll just ram Dalton Kincaid every single week. I'm hoping that with the absence of Stephon Diggs, with some young blood in there, that there's going to be more target spread around the offense, so he'll have more opportunities to actually be good. And then my bench, really the most notable guys are Cortland Sutton and Xavier Legette. Legette's the risk. Cortland Sutton will probably just be like the okay guy that will filter into my flex spot every now and then, based on how well Deshaun Watson decides to play. Bo Nix. My apologies, wrong team. I don't plan on ever playing Jerry Jeudy, so he's probably gonna get dropped. If I'm being honest, I'm just being real. But yeah, I don't dislike the team. It's a lot of risks. Everything pans out. I feel as if I could win. However, if it doesn't, you know what? Better luck next year to me. So yeah, what about you, Matt?
So for my team, I have Jared Goff at the quarterback position. Matthew Stafford is my backup. Saquon Barkley at the RB1 spot. James Conner, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle are my starting wide receivers. Trey McBride is my tight end. David Montgomery is my flex. On the bench, I have Jaden Reed, Deontay Johnson, Khalil Shakir, and Jerome Ford. All of those players, I know you guys don't like this team, but I think there was enough value that I was able to kind of make a couple different moves and set up for different points of the season. I tried to stockpile a lot of targets and upside where it matters, in my opinion. So I really like my team. The first couple picks I didn't really like how it was going, but it shaped up pretty nicely. So
you mean when you
we're
draft Waddle and McBride?
Those are two of my favorite picks, to be honest. So I am
the McBride one is like less egregious. The Waddle pick is like, in my opinion,
you guys are crazy.
I don't like the Waddle pick.
Just
really don't. I am waiting. I'm waiting.
And
I am.
It will happen. Jalen Waddle will be a value. If I can get him in the third round every league this year, I will do that in a heartbeat. He will be an auto pick for me. Jalen Waddle is going to ball out this year.
I like Trey McBride as a dynasty tight end. I don't like him where you took him over some of the players you took him over.
I know you're bigger on. You would take Kincaid over McBride, right?
I'd take Kincaid. I'd take Andrews over McBride. I'd take Cooper Kupp.
I would have
Flowers.
just taken Joe Mixon, Rashad White. But yeah, I would take. There are so many players here that I would have. Like I said, I hate tight ends taking it this early. Like, I really don't. I emphasize that a lot. I took a lot of risks here, but it feels so bad. I took Travis Kelce last year, like week 1. It was the first time I ever did it in round 1, and I regretted it instantly.
Same.
I will never.
Me and Chris are scarred, so we learned our lesson. You're about to learn. right now.
I've done it before. I've done the George Kittle experience. That was not fun. I've done the Travis Kelce. That was kind of fun until it wasn't. So I have high hopes for this Arizona Cardinals team with Kyler Murray healthy to start the season, a true alpha number one wide receiver, and Trey McBride, who is getting 10 plus targets last year. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but 7 to 9 targets a week, I think, is more than in the realm of outcomes on that offense. So I will take the targets. And remember, it's a PPR league, so I'm going to err on the side of caution for, if I can stockpile targets, that's basically why I did the Deontay Johnson pick, because he's going to get peppered with targets. They might not be good targets, but a target
Well,
still counts.
that one I didn't mind. I didn't mind Deontay Johnson over who else you had
Right.
there. That one I didn't care too much. That one I actually liked.
Either way, that's fine. We can disagree. We'll maybe at the end we'll
let the trophies
we'll
do
just
the
see.
talking.
Yeah, I'll post this on our X account, which you can follow at x.com, and we are at the Heroes FF. You can check us out on YouTube and anywhere else you get your podcasts. Leave us a comment, which team you liked, what picks you liked or disliked. We already heard about what the guys don't like about my draft, so I'd like to hear what you guys think too. Any questions for us, please reach out. We're always available. And we got a couple other fun shows coming up, so we're going to get things rolling. But until the next time, everyone, so long.
Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Heroes of Fantasy Football podcast. Follow us on Twitter at the Heroes FF.